You've been in the business for more than 3 decades now. Are you surprised at the speed with which the industry, your league, the other leagues have adapted to the legalization of gaming?
Well, you know, I was always credited or characterized as being the most anti-gambling. And going back in history, 25 years ago, in my prior life, I was very involved in the passage of PASPA. I always, you know, I was concerned at a 10,000-foot level about what it might do to the environment in a stadium or an arena. You know, horse racing and highlight are great, but is that the atmosphere we wanted? I also, you know, if you're our age and you grew up with athletes based on, you know, role models for their skill and their teamwork and their leadership, that was one thing, but I was focused on the next generation of fans who would grow up just knowing players as objects of betting, no matter what the sport. And also, I always had this concern in the back of my mind that once we got into sports betting, did the sports books think that they could just take our IP? But that I always knew would get worked out as it evolved. Supreme Court ruled, nothing we could do about it after that, so we just had to get with the program and make sure we were on top of the developments. We had a strategy. We weren't focused on legislation. We weren't focused on integrity fees. I mean, we didn't have an integrity problem when the betting was illegal. There's no reason to have it now. But we were focused on doing commercial deals with the sports books, letting them know that we could provide value to their business. And so we have now 3 relationships with MGM, FanDuel, and William Hill. And we've taken a very practical approach to dealing with it, and we let our clubs on the local level, where sports betting is legal, also have those relationships.
And is there a big difference between the MGM deal and the other 2 deals?
Well, yeah, the MGM deal, our relationship with MGM actually predates the legalization of sports betting. It arose out of the Vegas Golden Knights coming into existence. For those of you who aren't aware, they play in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which is principally owned by AEG, MGM, and also a little bit by the Vegas Golden Knights themselves. So they were a resort sponsor. So MGM is all in. They're an official resort sponsor. They're a sports betting partner. They're entitled to our data as it currently exists, or it may exist in the future. FanDuel, a little bit different, because they're also in daily fantasy, and so they're our official daily fantasy sports partner, and they are an official sports betting partner. And William Hill is a sports betting partner, and I think you're going to see all 3 do more with our clubs locally, where sports betting is legal. Currently, 4 of our clubs are in places where you can bet legally. The 2 clubs in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Vegas, of course.
There was some discussion this morning with a little bit of disagreement between some of the panelists, where some were echoing many of the owners who think there's going to be a flood of new dollars as a result of gambling. Others, including Jeannie Buss, saying, you know, it's really going to be more the fan engagement that's going to benefit us. There may not be this flood of dollars per se directly from gambling. What's your perspective on where the revenue opportunities will be?
There are revenue opportunities. We're seeing it already at the league level, and doing it at the league level, because we sell national sponsorships. I think that opportunity will continue to grow as more and more states adopt sports betting. For the clubs that are in jurisdictions that have sports betting, they're seeing some positive commitments in terms of cash flow from the industry. But I also think Jeannie's right that the hope is there will be more fan engagement. In our case, what we found from a betting standpoint, our first year in Las Vegas, betting on hockey in the Nevada sports books was up 80%, and betting this year is up 40% over last year. And our building is full every night in Las Vegas. So I think that this may actually drive more engagement, more people watching, fans doing more watching, and maybe some people who are general sports fans and haven't been a hockey fan, in our case, may start betting on it, and that may cause them to get even more attracted to the game.